Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to Yin practice. So for tonight, if it's possible in your house or wherever you are, to have your mat long against the wall. We're going to be doing some wall yin today. Donc, le tapis proche d'un mur. Si vous n'avez pas de mur, peut-être une porte, a door. If si vous n'avez pas de mur, no wall, don't worry, you can still do all the poses without it. Aujourd'hui, je vais utiliser le mur pour nous aider à travailler la posture. Donc, le dos long, souvent on se sent courbé, surtout avec ce temps ici. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking at my phone a lot and watching TV, and it can make my background. So we're going to use the wall today to help us be mindful of our spine in all the poses. And if you don't have, all the poses are accessible without the wall. You may need a blanket if you want to sit on and meditate. We'll be doing a squat position twice. So if you do have blocks at home, have them close by. Si vous n'avez pas des blocs, peut-être prenez des livres puis empilez-les de façon que ça soit assez haut. Vous pouvez vous asseoir dans la posture du squat. I'll meet you in a seated meditation. Donc, prenez une posture qui est confortable, puis je vous invite à venir vous asseoir contre le mur. So come and sit so your spine is really against the wall. And what you're going to feel is the most important part of being against the wall is your thoracic spine, the back of the shoulders, the back of the ribs. And this is what we tend to round. So we're going to try and place that flat against the wall. Choose a position with your legs. I'm crossed, but they can be long. You can have pillows underneath your thighs and knees. Puis l'option est pour vous. Vous pouvez avoir les paumes sur les cuisses pour vous sentir un petit peu plus grounded, terre à terre, ou tourner les paumes vers le ciel pour recevoir un tout petit peu plus d'énergie aujourd'hui. And so to close your eyelids, let's take an inhale all together through the nose. Fill up your whole front body with breath. Hold your inhale at the top. See if you can relax muscles like your shoulders, your jaw, your eyelids. Open the mouth, exhale, let something go and melt into your seat. Let's do that again. Cette fois-ci, inspirez, remplissez tout le dos de votre souffle. Retenez votre souffle ici, relaxez les épaules, sentez le dos long. Ouvrez la bouche, expirez, relâchez quelque chose. And seal your lips shut. And begin to inhale and exhale through your nose without changing anything. I invite you to take the first part of your meditation to simply observe your breath. Notice if it's fast, if it's slow, more in the chest or belly, shallow or not. Just taking the time here to assess. The tongue is glued to your roof of the mouth. Try to place the tip of your tongue right behind your two front teeth, relaxing the jaw. Imaginez un fil qui tire la couronne de la tête vers le haut, vers le ciel. Aidez-vous à sortir d'un dos rond, les épaules qui courbent. Come out of rounding or slouching. Press the crown of your head up. And let's start to bring our mind's eye, our awareness to the back of the head, as if your eyes were looking down your spine. Imagine pressing, or if you can, press the back of the head against the wall. If it doesn't go there, don't worry. Just imagine pressing the back of your head against the wall. Roll your shoulders back. Feel your thoracic spine against the wall. That small curve in your lower back, that space between your wall and your lower back. Et l'idée d'observer votre dos long, votre dos droit, avec les yeux fermés, c'est aussi de le sentir. We take so much time in our yin poses just for that reason. To settle in, to breathe, and then to start to notice how our body is shaped or naturally moving one way or the other. To start to shift into that awareness of observing ourselves without the mirror, simply by sensation. And that's all I invite you to do today for your practice. Just observe yourself, your body, the way you're maybe rounding or arching or straight in a posture. Let's begin to slow our breath, exhaling completely. And the next time you inhale, inhale all the way to the top. Maybe a little extra sip of air when you get there. Out the nose, exhale slowly until you press all the air out of your lungs, feeling your belly clench to let you know there's no more air. Et continue ces longues inspirations-là, luxueuses et complètes, ainsi que des longues expirations jusqu'au bout. Switching from whatever you did today or weekend to right here, right now on your yoga mat, preparing for your yin practice. I wish you all a very lovely practice. Commencez tranquillement à ouvrir vos yeux, déplacez les accessoires si vous avez proche de vous, vous êtes assis dessus. On se rejoint en table, come into a tabletop. Hands underneath your shoulders, les genoux en dessous des hanches, sway back and forth, move your hips around, cat-cow your spine. Don't think too much about it. Do whatever comes first to mind. Whatever your body needs right now. And then bring yourself slowly into a nice, stable tabletop. Reach your shoulders one way. Lift your feet and point your feet the other way, coming into a little bit of a diagonal stretch. Passez par le centre, changez de bord les épaules d'un côté, les orteils de l'autre. Back to center, place the feet on the floor. Take a breath in, arch your lower spine, reach the shoulders up, look up. Exhale here, think of running to bring the back of your head towards your bum. A nice long breath in. And breath out as you start to round your spine. Notice it, vertebra by vertebra. Press into the ground, round your shoulders and drop the crown of the head towards the ground. Take an inhale here. And exhale. And go for one more round of cat-cow, nice and slow. Feeling the abdomen, the whole front body stretch on your cow. And then feel the whole back stretching. Press the shoulder blades up to the sky on your cat. Et ramenez-vous, revenez en table. So of course, since we're working a lot on the spine today and our posture, let's start with our toe stretch, a classic. Curl your toes, press your feet into the ground. If you've been doing toe stretch for quite a while and you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring your ankles closer together. Make sure your pinky toe is even curled in. Press the foot down and do a little moonwalk towards the back. So all of your weight is on your heels. At any point that this is too much, you just lift your bum off the heels, take a breath or two, meet us back here. Relax the shoulders down. We'll do some stuff for the next minute so we forget the way our feet are, what we're doing to our feet. Open your arms up into a T. Take a nice long inhale. Exhale, swing the right arm underneath the left. Grab your shoulders or hold on to your palms, eagle arms. Lift the elbows up towards the mouth. Relax the shoulders and lift your heart. Nice slow breaths, noticing where the sensation is in the spine. Option to stay here, or you can start to bring your fingertips towards the center, like you're drawing a straight line, and feel what that does. You can stay when you find a nice juicy spot. 10 more seconds. Take nice slow breaths here. Take a breath in, swing your arms up to the sky. Breath out, come into tabletop. Uncurl your toes, place them flat on the floor. You can tap your feet or simply stay still. Taking a few moments here just to notice what we feel in the feet, maybe the legs, maybe the hips. On se prépare pour la deuxième fois. Rapprochez les chevilles si vous voulez une sensation un petit peu plus intense. Retroussez vos orteils, venez vous asseoir sur les talons. Retroussez le plus petit des orteils, puis faites le petit moonwalk par l'arrière. Ouvrez les bras sur l'inspiration. Expirez le bras gauche en dessous du droit. Vous pouvez faire le twist, puis attraper vos paumes. Soulevez les coudes, relaxez les épaules. Respirez. Puis vous commencez à dessiner cette ligne droite qui part du haut, qui descend vers le centre. Retirez les omoplates. Arrêtez où la sensation est bonne, puis prenez des respirations profondes. Encore 10 secondes. Puis relâchez les bras, prenez une inspiration, les deux bras vers le haut. Expirez, placez les mains au sol, revenez dans votre table, placez les pieds à plat au sol. Bougez en tapant les pieds au sol ou simplement restez ferme, immobile, observez. And even in this pose right now, before we move on to our next, can you feel your spine? Press the back of the head up to the sky. Press into your hands, roll your shoulders back and press the shoulder blades up. And feel that small, tiny arch in your lower back. Nice, natural curvature of the spine. All right, come to sit onto your heels as we prepare for the next pose. So we're going to do 2 rounds of each pose, forward fold and squat. So if for squat, start with a block or 2, and then maybe in the next round after we do our second squat, you can remove. I suggest to come up against the wall and have your bum against the wall. If you have no wall, all you're going to do is straighten your legs to stand up in a forward fold. Keep a nice bend in the knee. Anything straight is going to be too strenuous on your knees. So nice bend in the knees, bum against the wall if you have the wall. If you don't have the wall, all good, just forward fold. Place your block in between your feet so it's ready for the second pose. Fingers can graze the ground, or you can hold on to your opposite elbows. Let the crown of the head dangle down and start to settle into this pose. Moving around in whatever way you need to feel comfortable, well, as comfortable as you can. And really try to let the top of the head go towards the ground so you release everything. And the wall here acts as a support for you, so you can release the knees a little bit. They don't have to be straight. And that support helps you get that full flexion, that full stretch in the back of the thighs, lower back, all the way up the spine. And come back to your nice, luxurious inhales and exhales that you did at the beginning of class. Follow maybe 3 of those. And when you're done, follow 3 more. Maybe play around with some sensation now. Bring more weight into your heels or more weight into your toes. Move the feet from side to side. Find the four corners and really press them into the ground as you lift the arches of your feet. And with your upper body, all you do is let go, release, relax. All right, if you have a yoga block between your feet or some books, slide it back against your wall if you're using the wall. Open your feet, heel toe them out to as wide as your mat. Start to bend your legs and come to sit on your yoga block. Malasana, one yoga block or two. Adjust as you need. The back of the shoulders are against the wall, especially in this pose. Press into the four corners of your feet to help you sit up tall and imagine that string pulling you up to the sky. Sometimes it's a little bit different when we do it against the wall. We realize that maybe we were overcompensating in one part of our body or the other when we weren't using wall, and that's okay. That's why we do yin, to be aware, to notice stuff about ourselves. All right, option to have your hands at your heart or just let your elbows rest on your knees. Let's take a few moments right here to just focus on sitting up nice and tall, to having the back against the wall, shoulders away from the ears. And come back to those deep breaths. If you feel against the wall, you need a little extra something, maybe add a block, add a book or two, add a blanket on top of whatever prop you're using. Give yourself some height. Think of more of a straighter spine rather than a deeper hip opening. We'll open up the hips, I promise. Bring your left arm inside of your left leg and almost use that left arm as an anchor. Lightly press the leg against the arm, arm back into the leg. Come place your right hand on the inside of your left arm. Take a breath in. Roll your right shoulder back, breath out. Lift that right arm up on your inhale. If you have the wall, arm presses against the wall. Exhale, start to twist your heart up towards your right hand. Little bit of a twist here. If you're not using the wall, all good. Imagine pressing yourself against the wall in this pose and twisting your heart up towards your right hand. And that arm against the leg acts as a little bit of an anchor, but try to tone it back a bit, coming into 30 or maybe 40% effort here. Remember, you're in yin, you want to have your body soft and time do all of the work. And bring that right hand back inside the right leg. Take a second or two at neutral. Let an exhale go out of the mouth if you need it. Side two, right hand is going to press inside of the right leg, light. Bring your left hand inside of your right arm. Take a breath in, roll the left shoulder back. Breath out, lift that left arm up against the wall. Inhale, reach your arms away from one another. And exhale, twist towards your left hand. Left shoulder blade, left arm, forearm on the wall, back of the left hand, if it's possible. And notice your breath here. Is it still easy to take those long inhales and exhales? If you're feeling a bit compromised, just untwist a little bit. Less pressure on yourself. It's all good. Exactly where you are is perfect. It's perfect for your body if you can breathe fully. And come back to center with that left arm inside the left leg or on top. Let's take a moment or two here. Feel your body untwist. Bring those shoulder blades back against the wall if they move. Hands come onto the insides of your legs. Press the hands down and straighten your legs back up. Deuxième fois dans la flexion avant. Ramenez les pieds un peu plus proches à la largeur des hanches. Option ici de laisser les doigts au sol, attrapez vos gros orteils. Ou bien Parahastasana, glissez la paume droite en dessous du pied droit, la paume gauche en dessous du pied gauche. Toujours ici en gardant les fesses contre le mur, vous aider à garder la posture longue. Le dessus de la tête qui presse vers le sol. Prenez un peu de temps ici pour vous ajuster aux besoins, masser vos paumes en bougeant les orteils, en bougeant la base de vos orteils. Nice little pressure points in the hands here. You can use the base of your toes to press into that pressure point. If it's comfortable, if it's not, stay exactly where you are. Gardez toujours un petit pli dans les genoux pour éviter l'hyperextension, mais aussi pour éviter une énergie un peu plus chaude, un peu plus yang dans votre corps. Relaxez ici, laissez la couronne de la tête tomber vers le sol, les épaules loin des oreilles, puis respirez profondément. Rentrez le nombril à la fin de votre expiration, puis voyez si vous pouvez plonger un tout petit peu plus profond. Puis avec l'œil de votre esprit, essayez de suivre la ligne où vous sentez la plus grande sensation. Si ça commence dans vos cuisses, suivez de la cuisse jusqu'où vous le sentez. Follow that line of sensation, observe it, be extremely aware of it. If you're holding your toes, let go of them. Si vous pilez sur la main, relâchez une main à la fois. Soulevez le pied, relâchez la main. Round 2, Malasana pour le squat. Donc, si vous voulez vous rasseoir sur le bloc ou les livres, faites-le. You want a little bit more of a challenge, you can remove your block coming into the second set of squat. Ouvrez les pieds aussi larges que votre tapis. Orteils vers l'extérieur, les talons vers l'intérieur. Soyez-vous dans votre squat avec le dos contre le mur. Really feel your spine, especially if you're not using the block. You feel your spine against the wall. Here's a big indication that'll tell you if you are rounding, which is totally normal in this pose. If you can press the shoulder blades against the wall. Reaching the back of the head towards the wall as well. It may not touch, but just bringing it in that direction, back of the neck long. Option d'avoir les mains au cœur comme j'ai ici, mais aussi ça peut être super confortable de simplement laisser les mains aller sur les coudes, sur les genoux. That your whole spine is not going to touch the wall. Lower back may not touch the wall. You're just going to try to bring everything in that direction. As we bring awareness into our posture, it comes and it shows itself in various ways when you're doing different exercises, maybe even in your yoga practice. As you work on your posture, you learn to work with those deep muscles that we rarely use, the deep abdominals that allow us to bring the navel to spine and find extension. The deeper muscles of your transverse abdominals are the ones in the back as well. As you start to build that awareness, start to feel it a little bit in your body bit by bit, your practice changes, the way you walk changes, maybe you feel taller. À peu près 10 respirations encore, 10 more breaths. Pour sortir de la pause, placez vos mains au sol, glissez vers l'avant, revenez dans une table. Maybe you want to move around, faire des cercles avec vos hanches, bouger de côté, whatever you need. I'll meet you just in a seiza, sitting on your heels for a few breaths. Puis revenez avec les yeux à l'arrière de la tête, qui regarde vers le bas, votre colonne. Notice if you feel a little bit different after that. All right, let's slowly shift to our next pose. And you're going to come to kneel sideways. If this is not too comfortable for your feet, then take a block or some books and sit on that, and it'll be a little bit more comfortable, give you a little bit more height. And again, if you're not close to a wall, maybe you can lie down on your belly for this pose. We're going to come and stretch our shoulders and pec. So reach your right arm up, slide it against the wall, and bring it towards the back. And you want your elbow to be a little bit higher than your shoulder, kind of like what you see here from me. Press your 5 fingers into the wall. Use your left hand here to hold yourself. And we're just going to breathe. The stretch could be quite obvious. It's always different when you come into it a different way. It's never the same feeling. When I do this on the ground, I can lift my leg up and roll back. And here I feel it a lot more intense than I do on the ground. Maybe it's the same for you. Maybe it's the opposite. Long, deep breaths here. All the while in this pose, still imagining that little string pulling the crown of your head up to the sky. You're coming into the heart meridian that crosses into the thumb and index. So go ahead and press your thumb and index into the ground just to activate that for a moment. 5 more breaths. And crawl your fingers up and then bring them back down and forward, and take a second here. Just maybe let an exhale come out of your mouth. Feel that difference between your right and left arm, right and left pec or shoulder. And let's turn around for a second side. Deuxième côté, venez vous asseoir sur les talons ou bien sur un bloc pour alléger le poids sur les talons, sur les orteils. Prenez un instant pour vous redresser, d'allonger la couronne de la tête vers le ciel. Prenez une inspiration, soulevez le bras droit, bras gauche, pardon, contre le mur, vers l'arrière, de sorte que votre coude est plus haut que votre épaule. Bougez-vous un tout peu plus proche du mur si c'est le cas. Utilisez la main droite pour vous aider à ouvrir l'épaule gauche, le pectoral gauche. It'll be different on both sides, so just notice that. If you're on the ground, you're rolling over on your left hip and shoulder and opening up that left pec and shoulder. Toujours avec l'idée en tête d'avoir le dos long, la colonne droite. Cette pose-là, cette posture-là, c'est une superbe posture pour la posture. Pour le dos long. Ça nous aide à travailler ça d'une autre façon. On le fait souvent couché au sol. Peut-être que vous avez le temps dans votre journée de prendre une petite minute, faire 30 secondes les deux côtés. Pour commencer, our muscles, they have memory. You remember how to get into down dog even after you haven't done yoga for 3 or 4 weeks, or maybe even more, because your muscles have memory. And the more you work on opening, rolling things back, getting things longer, your muscles remember. This is a great way of helping them remember. Encore 5 respirations. Pressez l'index et le pouce dans le mur. Marchez la main vers le haut. Roulez-la vers l'avant, les deux mains sur les cuisses. Prenez un petit instant. All right, and lift off of your block, move it to the side if you were sitting on one. And I'm gonna meet you lying on your belly with your knees against the wall. If you don't know how that looks like, take a second and just check out how I'm going to position myself and go ahead and do the same. So knees are bent, They're against the wall. I'll put my head down so you can see me. Your feet are against the wall. My feet are flat, or you can have the toes curled and flexed against the wall. So whatever you want. So go ahead and get into this position. Open up your legs as wide as you need them to be. We're coming into Sphinx. Once you're there with your knees against the wall, grab opposite elbows. A little bit more intense, this one. Really getting our spine long. Press the crown of the head up towards the sky and press your elbows into the ground. Cette tension dynamique, comme on peut dire. Les coudes qui pressent au sol, la couronne de la tête qui s'élève vers le haut. Étirement de tout le devant du corps, les abdominaux, la poitrine, le plexus solaire. A big pose to open up. Take your time. And stay holding your elbows. And if this is too much for you and you're feeling like your lower back is pinching, just slide your elbows forward. It's going to relieve a lot of tension. So your elbows can be underneath your shoulders, but they can be also a bit further away to the front of your mat. That's going to relax the lower back. For full Sphinx, stretch your forearms forward onto the ground. Pressez le bout des doigts au sol, comme si vous allez tirer le tapis vers vous, pour vous aider à propulser le cœur vers l'avant. We're here for about 2 minutes. Anytime you need a break, you go for it. Take a break. Bring your mind's eye to the back of your head. Just noticing your spine. It's in a little bit of a curved shape, but it can be curved and straight. Like the back of your head was pressing against the wall. Chin leveled with the ground. Shoulders back, heart lifting. Rappelez-vous des respirations profondes que vous preniez au début pendant votre méditation. C'est le genre de respiration que vous cherchez à avoir pendant toutes vos pauses. Si ce n'est pas le cas, réajustez la pause pour que vous puissiez respirer de façon pleine, complète, plus lente. It never really does matter how you look like in the pose or what variation you take. The most important part of every pose is, yes, your breath, but it is awareness. It is learning about your body, how far you can go, what are your limits, what is sensitive, and where your potential is. Encore 5 respirations. Et pour sortir de la pause, ouvrez vos coudes. Placez une main par-dessus l'autre, relaxez le front sur les mains. It feel good to open up your knees or maybe move your feet from right to left or just stay still. With your belly against the ground, go ahead and take some deep breaths into the deepest part of your belly, between your belly button and pubic bone. Breathe there a few times. And feel your lower back rise and fall with every breath in that area.
En gardant votre conscience, encore dans votre pratique, même pendant vos transitions. Commencez à vous tourner pour vous mettre sur le dos.
So keeping your transition, your mindful transition in mind, go ahead and flip yourself around on your back. And then once you get there, you can take a moment just to adjust. To arrive, we'll be spending the rest of our practice on our backs with the help of the wall. All right, you can push into your head to readjust your shoulders. Pressez dans les pieds, réajustez vos hanches. Avec les jambes pliées, placez vos pieds contre le mur. So feet about hip width apart, feet against the wall, knees bent. And we're going to do figure 4 stretch. Before we go there, let's feel the neutral curve, a natural curve of our spine. And this is what we want to keep during our whole pose. Back of the head presses against the ground. Back of the shoulders are against the ground. And there's a little curve at your lower back, a little space where you could slide something underneath. That's what you want to keep the whole time you're in this next pose. Leaving the left foot against the wall, bend the right leg, place your ankle against your thigh, and then readjust to find that natural curve of your spine. Coming into a figure 4 or threading the needle. Right ankle on your left thigh, left foot against the wall with the knee bent. Back of the head, back of the shoulders on the mat. Lower back, there's a little space in that curve. You can rest your hands on your thighs. Just take a little bit of time at the beginning of the pose just to see how this feels. Are you yearning for a bigger stretch? Can you be right here, right now? Let the right hip, right bum, right knee be relaxed. You're fully supported here. And if you are yearning for that bigger stretch, and you can help yourself with your right hand to just lightly press on your right thigh, guide the right knee towards the wall. Still keeping that shape of your spine. And once you get that nice sensation, stay there and just take some deep breaths. And when that sensation is a little bit softer or barely there, then that's when you go a little bit further. Take it millimeter by millimeter. And notice if you're leaning more on your right side, or both sides of your sacrum equally pressed into the ground, or both shoulder blades equally pressed into the ground. About 5 more breaths.
Slowly slide your right ankle off of your left leg and come place your foot back against the wall. Take a second here at neutral. Let that pose sink in. On va y aller de l'autre côté. Donc, cette fois-ci, vous placez la cheville gauche sur la cuisse droite. Le pied droit est toujours contre le mur avec la jambe pliée. Réajustez votre corps au besoin de sorte à trouver le dos neutre, l'arrière de la tête, les épaules qui pressent au sol, le petit espace dans le bas du dos. Puis donnez-vous un peu de temps au début de la pause pour simplement atterrir, ajuster comme vous le voulez, atterrissez. Relaxez vos orteils, vos doigts. Les mains sont contre les cuisses, sans effort. Sans rien changer du tout dans votre corps. Simplement observer le moment présent. Sans vouloir aller chercher un étirement plus profond ou moins. Remarquez. Si vous voulez, si vous êtes prêt pour quelque chose d'un peu plus intense, vous pouvez vous aider en pressant la cuisse gauche ou en pressant la cuisse gauche vers le mur. Juste remarquez si les deux côtés de votre sacrum pressent au sol également. Même chose avec les épaules. Guidez votre genou vers le mur. Observez la sensation, respirez. Lorsqu'elle est atténuée ou un peu moins intense, vous pouvez y aller un tout petit peu plus profond. Ramenez le pied gauche au mur, soyez au neutre pendant quelques instants. Laissez la pause atterrir, expirez par la bouche au besoin. And one more time, while you're in this position, one last time, observe your straight spine. And when you're on the ground for happy baby, wind relieving, figure four, always take a little moment to be aware of your spine. Keep that shape whenever you're doing those stretches. All right, we're gonna come into a next series of postures. You're gonna turn over onto your side without jerking your head up. Keep your chin down and just move your bum so your bum is against the wall. Donc vous êtes sur le côté, vous vous rapprochez du mur de sorte que les fessiers sont contre le mur. Soulevez les jambes vers le haut. No, we're not going to stay here, not yet actually. Open up your arms into a T. Go ahead and bend your knees and let your knees fall towards the right. The left, excuse me. Knees fall towards the left. And with your knees towards the left, coming into a spinal twist here, I want you to press the back of your head. If your knees touch the ground, perfect. If they don't, that's okay too. Press the back of the head into the ground to help you scoot the right shoulder blades to the center, right shoulder down. So oftentimes what I see in this pose is like a little mini cobra, a little bitty back bend, like the heart is lifting. When you're in a supine twist, think of melting your low ribs towards the back of the ribs towards the ground. It may not move, may not feel like much, but you're not in a back bend here. You're actually trying to get a straight, flat spine and twist around that. Relax the back of the shoulders, back of the ribs towards the ground. Stay here, you can look towards your right hand. So because we started against the wall, we did start with our spine straight. We just let our knees fall to the left. Technically, the ribs should be a little bit closer to the ground just by doing that. Bring your breaths into the deepest part of your belly, between the belly button and the pubic bone, and just breathe there. Follow 10 breaths right there. Maybe your knees are together. Maybe they're not. If you can relax your legs, try to avoid keeping the knees together or forcing the legs towards the ground. And if you're looking to the right, go ahead and bring your eyes back towards the ceiling. Slowly and mindfully bring your legs back up the wall. Let's take a moment in neutral here before we switch sides. Bon, on va y aller du deuxième côté. Commencez par plier les genoux, puis laissez vos genoux tomber vers la droite cette fois-ci. Peut-être que les jambes touchent au sol, peut-être que non. Laissez-les relax. Pressez dans l'arrière de votre tête de sorte de vous aider à ramener l'omoplate gauche vers le sol, vers le centre. L'idée ici, c'est d'avoir un dos assez plat vers le sol, surtout la partie thoracique du dos. L'arrière des côtes, l'arrière du cœur, l'arrière des épaules. Évitez un back bend comme un cobra. Relaxez vers le tapis. Option de rester ici ou si vous voulez, vous pouvez tourner votre tête vers la main gauche. Et encore une fois, on va diriger les respirations dans la partie profonde du ventre, entre le nombril et puis l'os pubique. Ramenez les yeux vers le centre si la tête a bougé. Vous pouvez ramener les jambes tranquillement vers le centre. Prenez un petit instant. All right, so our Shavasana today is going to be legs up the wall. If you're in the early days of your moon cycle, then I recommend that you just do Shavasana, not an inversion. For legs up the wall, if your bum is against the wall and it's comfortable, perfect. If you're a little bit less open in the back of the hips or the thighs, then moving your bum further away will be more comfortable. You can open your arms up or have them by your side. It's whatever feels comfortable. Press the back of the head into the ground so your chin is a little bit in towards your chest. This is a great pose. We talked a lot about posture today, and in order to get posture, we need space. This pose will create space in the back of the thighs, all along the back. Calms our nervous system, calms our mind, changes direction of our blood flow so we can feel reset, recharged. I recommend, if you have time, to stay in this pose for at least 10 minutes. Unfortunately, I don't have 10 minutes left in class, about 2 or 3 minutes. But if you can stay 10 minutes, that's perfect. If you can stay 5, that's great. If not, it's perfect too. C'est une pose que je recommande à plusieurs étudiants, à tous mes étudiants, de pratiquer vraiment à tous les jours, surtout si vous faites la course. Maintenant, relaxez. Laissez aller le contrôle de votre souffle, l'observation de votre corps. Just relax.
If you can stay longer, perfect. Take as long as you need or can in this pose. Quand vous êtes prêt pour sortir, vous prenez une position fétale pour un petit moment avant de vous redresser. Have a wonderful week. À la prochaine. Merci beaucoup. Namaste.